Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Pine Cove Farm, here in Farming Simulator 19 with me, CWATTY. It's the start of a brand new day. After doing the baling contract in the last video, I decided not to do any more that day. I decided just to fast forward time because I didn't really like the contracts that were on offer elsewhere, and there was nothing for me to do around my farm, so I decided just to advance the time, and let's start a new day where we can start the day with a lovely quick fertilising job here on field 1. Quick fertilising contract which will give us a nice little 25 grand or so before we get started. Hopefully at that point the map will do a bit of an update, and I might be able to get the harvester out and do my oat field. But at the moment the oats seem to be taking a little bit of time to reach harvest stage, which is funny seeing as how quickly they move through that first growth stage. So I ended up causing crop destruction when I tried to do my weeding. So yes, fertilising is going well. All the horses are okay. You know, that's all. I've had a quick check of that today. So horses are okay. We're slowly regaining a bit of money because obviously we spent a fair bit in the last video buying the tedder, windrower and the baler. So yeah, the horses at the minute are really my the sooner they can be ready to sell, the better, really, because then we can get a big injection of cash into the farm, which will enable me to maybe buy some fields. Because, like I say, being limited to just starting with one field is a bit of a killer. I don't know why Stevie did that. Normally Stevie gives you quite a few fields on a map, so I don't know. Stevie, if you're watching, drop me a comment in the comment section below the video and let me know what the thought process was behind only having one field in new farmer mode. Because as I say, normally on your maps you give us a few starting fields for us to be getting on with when we start the game, but on this one, no. And imagine if I'd started in farm manager mode, or start from scratch, I wouldn't have actually been able to buy a field, because the money you start with wouldn't have been enough to have bought land and also allowed me to buy equipment. So if I'd have started in farm manager or start from scratch, I would have really been struggling. We would have literally just been doing contracts for this whole series. I think I would have, you know, we wouldn't have owned any land anywhere. We might have had a bit of concrete somewhere, one of the little placeable spots on the main road that I could drive park equipment at, and we'd have just been doing a contracting service let's play, which probably would have got a little bit boring after a few episodes. Although, to be fair, I did do Mercury Farms as a contracting series, didn't I? Way back in my early Farming Simulator 19 career, if you like, one of my early Let's Plays here on the channel was Mercury Farms, where I was doing a contracting company where we literally just did contracts for a lot of the series until we bought our own land. But then I added the caveat that I wasn't allowed to sell anything that was harvested off the field. It had to be converted and turned into something else, because then at about the time I was playing that series, that's when we got the first fill type mover mods come out. Before Global Company was a thing, we had Farmer Shuby release his fill type mover script, and we got loads of little production buildings for doing things like seed, fertilizer, and things like that, which was very nice. And then obviously Global Company just came along and took it to a whole new level with their system. But yeah, the fill type mover stuff was very good to have when it first came out, and it gave, obviously, as Let's Play guys, as channel video creators, a whole load of new stuff to play with and integrate into our series. So yeah, on Mercury Farms, that came along at a perfect time, because like I say, once I'd bought fields, I didn't want to then just be going down the road of, right, okay, I'm farming my fields now, because I still had that little caveat that, you know, if I grew wheat on a field, I couldn't sell the wheat. I had to turn the wheat into something else and then sell that, you know. So it did add a little bit of a difference to the series, made it a little bit more unique. But of course it would have been difficult to have done that on this map, because initially I wasn't using a lot of mods. I have obviously added some. This was going to be a minimalist series, a bit like the multiplayer server that we're playing at the minute. It's going to be a bit of a minimalist series with no mods, but you know, I have added some mods as I've been going along, as you've probably all no doubt seen. But you know, I'm still keeping things a little bit to the minimum. I'm not using things like GPS still, and I'm not using things like Follow Me, so that's making life a little bit more of a challenge. You know, some of those mods, and then there's a couple of other mods that I would normally always use, like the Global Easy Auto Load, which I haven't used and don't have installed, and don't have any of the Easy Auto Load trailers and stuff, so that's a bit different. So yeah, this series would have been, this series would have been a lot tougher starting a new farm or start from scratch, and it would have been a bit of a conundrum, I think, trying to figure out how to make progress, how to move forward on that series. Obviously it would have been a great thing for a single player, just as a normal game save to do, someone who isn't, you know, making videos and making content. It would have been quite a nice challenge, and would have definitely kept you busy for a lot of hours, especially if you add some of the farm sim like challenges that are about, that people can adopt and add to their playthroughs, one of which we are doing on the multiplayer server, one of the basic most common farm sim challenges with its rule set and everything. So yeah, let's have a bit of a look, shall we? Right, we've completed that, so we're going to collect that contract. There's another couple of fertilising jobs, field 12, field 15, and then it's mainly harvesting. There's a bit of a sowing job there, field 19 with oats. Still field 14 cultivating to do for 10 grand. Field 4 and field 8. You know, I'm tempted. Field 7, which is there as well. You know what? I'm tempted to go accept and accept. But maybe just hand those jobs over to the normal worker, I'm guessing. They are cultivating jobs, so I need to make sure I go and get the cultivator attached to the tractor. I don't want to make the same mistake I made on field, like I made the other day on field 1, where I accepted a cultivating contract and took me plough over there instead by mistake. Ploughed the whole field, spent ages ploughing the whole field, got to the end of the field and then sat there wondering why the contract was still showing as 0% complete. And then I realised, so then I had to come all the way back to the farm, swap the machines over, swap the equipment over, and then go back and do the whole field again. So yeah, I ended up working field 1 twice. So yeah, my profits that day were definitely down. I definitely lost money because obviously more wear and tear on the vehicle, more fuel consumed. Yeah, not a great start, that one. So yeah, we'll grab the big boy. He's okay. He's repaired and stuff. Like I say, I was hoping we was going to get to harvest field 2. But it looks like it's in the final growth stage. Whether it's going to tick over today and let me start harvesting, I don't know. I thought it would have done it by now if it was going to do it. You know what I'll do? I'll just turn the timescale up a little bit. Sometimes the maps only sync at about 7:30, between like sometime between 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the morning. The maps do a bit of an update. I've noticed on a few mod maps. And that's generally when we tend to see things change. Right, I need to figure out which one of these is the plough, which one is the cultivator. Freedom Plough by Stevie, that's the plough, so I don't want the red one. I think I want the yellow one. Subsoiler, that'll do. See, that's what confuses me, you see. Why would you have a plough and a subsoiler? They both do the same job. They both remove the ploughed status of the field. It would have been better to have had a plough and a cultivator if you're going to have 2 machines. If you're only going to have 1 machine, then you have the subsoiler, because that does it does ploughing and cultivating in one go. So you could do away with both machines. But I understand Stevie's given us 2. But yeah, the subsoiler's a bit redundant, really. I would think if a field says it needs ploughing and you've got a plough, I'm going to go and attack it with the plough, obviously. And then it would be better to have a cultivator, because obviously if I'm cultivating the field with a subsoiler, the field's never going to need ploughing, because the subsoiler's always going to reset that ploughed status. It is. It's always going to reset the ploughed status every time you use it. So yeah, the subsoiler kind of makes the plough redundant, really. The only thing is, obviously, you can't use the subsoiler on ploughing contracts. That's where it kind of breaks itself a little bit. You can have a subsoiler for yourself and use that. That's great. But then if you want to do ploughing contracts, you've actually got to have a plough. Subsoiler does not work for ploughing contracts. So I'm just going to hire a normal worker. Oh, I'm happily going to pay the wages for this fella today, or this lady who's going to do these. And like I say, we're going to get field 4 done, field 7 done, field 8 done. And that will be fine. Like I say, it's a shame that field 2 isn't ready to harvest. I wanted to be harvesting my oats today. I did. What I can do is get the harvester ready. I can give it a refuel. Because obviously it needs some go-go juice, it needs some liquid dinosaur bones adding to it. But yeah, it's not going to be harvesting today, I don't think. Not in this video. Might get a chance to later on at the end of the video. I probably should have fast forwarded 2 days. That would have definitely then have put me in the harvest window. Obviously we've got our crop destruction here, so I'm going to lose a little bit of my yield, but not to worry, not to worry. The good thing is, after I've done this harvest, fucking pipe thing again, look, because it's moving on the it's moving on the harvester, so I can't open the blooming controls. I don't really know how to program it any differently. Unless I change that. So that's raising that now, and that makes that go up and down. Right, that's fixed it. There's obviously a couple of keybinds there that I've just overlapped with something else. If that causes me a problem in the future, it causes me a problem in the future. We won't worry about that till then. So yeah, waiting on the oats to be harvest ready. A little bit of a pity. Is there any other good contracts I could be doing? Fertilising, I don't really fancy fertilising. There's no ploughing. There is one seeding contract, field 19 with oats, and field 19 is where on this map? Down in the main village area. Wow, helper's having some issues on that field. Missed a couple of spots. That's interesting. How has he done that? You wonder. Bit bizarre. Keep my eye on that. We've had issues in the past with workers, the normal workers, missing big chunks of fields. I don't know whether it's something in the map that's an issue, or whether it's just something to do with the workers. But yeah, I've noticed it a couple of times now in the game when playing on different maps, that sometimes the workers just don't work. Big square patches of fields. Yeah, there's nothing, no obvious reason why. There's nothing that's particularly blocking them in the middle of a field. And when you go manually and check the field, it's perfectly fine. Horses are okay. I know we've got this old grass stuff. I'm wondering if I should maybe get the mower out, do some swath dropping, pick up the loading wagon, come drop it in my bunker over here and make some silage. Not that we use silage, because obviously we don't have cows or anything, but I could be selling that, and that could be potential profitability. Potential money that we could be making. I'll watch this guy a little bit more closely just to see if he has any troubling issues. Oh, this lady. It is a lady, isn't it? Yeah, with a tight bun haircut. Like I say, that's one of those little features. That I hope to see Giants add to Farming Simulator in the future. Maybe, you know, hopefully even in as early as FS22, that on the character creation screen, you know, your farmer, you've got way more options and you can actually do a lot more character editing, because they do look a little bit generic, these people. There's not a lot of variety in the characters that you can select. It would be nice to have a bit more control over your, not only your created farmer, but obviously the depth pool of presets that the game can pull in and assign to workers and stuff, just to make them look a little bit more different. You know? I don't imagine we'll ever get like a full like RPG game, you know, like a Skyrim like character creator, or you know, something like that in Farm Sim 22, but it would be nice to be able to add some details. Like, for example, you know, obviously me in real life, I have a beard. It's a good beard. I can't give a beard to any of the Farm Sim characters. I know that's a minor thing, and people say there's far bigger things in the game to be worried about than beards on the player characters, but it's something I would love to see added to make it a little bit more realistic, to make, you know, my player character look a little bit more like me, the player. You know? You know, much wider choice for haircuts. There's no option to make the character bald, for example. No option at all. Or to give a male character really long hair, or like a ponytail type haircut, which is obviously a bit strange. Because I had long hair all of last year because of obviously the pandemic and stuff, and I didn't actually cut my hair. I shaved my head in like December, wasn't it? I did a video where I shaved my head the first haircut of 2020, and I've not cut my hair since that video, so obviously my hair's getting quite long again at the minute. But I'll probably leave it till December again, and then trim it all off just before Christmas. So yeah, my horses are going well. Anderson Group Pro Chop is currently on sale. That is a straw blower. I don't need one of those. I don't require a straw blower. Looks like this guy's managing. He's not missed any more bits of the field, which is nice. Like I say, he's got field 8 to do. Field field 7 and field 8. Got to go over the train line a little bit. Yeah. So I was kind of hoping that the map would have updated this morning and I would have been harvesting. I'm a little bit disappointed in that. I will definitely fix that for the next video. The next episode of the series, we will definitely be doing our harvesting, folks. Definitely. Definitely. And we'll get the straw collected as well off the field. We'll get the straw collected, put in the silo. Just to see if we need any of that for whatever reason. I've got plenty of straw at the minute, obviously. We've got 674,000, nearly 675,000 litres actually, which is probably more than I'll need on this particular map, on this Let's Play. I doubt I'll get through all of that in this save. Maybe whatever I harvest off of field 2, I maybe sell some of it. There's a couple of places I can sell it. Jeeves Mill, Freedom Mill, Fenton Mill, Farm Barn, Animal Supplies. Surprisingly, the Animal Supplies is not the best place. The Animal Supplies tends never to be anywhere near good value for selling your straw and stuff, which I would have thought they would have been one of the highest paying places, because they want it, obviously, for animals. So I'm a bit surprised that some of the mills and stuff are a better bet and a safer bet for getting rid of straw. I've not bought any equipment since the last video, so there isn't really anything to worry about there. So yeah, it's just a case of letting this guy run round and let the helper here do these 3 contracts for me whilst I'm playing the waiting game. You know? It's weird, there seems to be a lot of growing on the map at the minute. There's only 3 fields that are ready for harvest. There's field 20, field 13 and field 14. So there's not a lot of harvesting available. Field 20 is oats. Field 14 is soybeans. Field 13 is wheat. The oat I would have been tempted with. The oat I would have been tempted by. Because obviously any excess from that field would go towards our horses. But if I start it now, it's a bit late to start it now. Plus I've already positioned my harvester ready to do my field, so we're not currently looking to do that. So yeah, it's kind of this video's a bit of a non-starter really. What I plan to do today, I can't because the map's not ready to let me do it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this video here early and say join me in the next episode where we'll definitely be harvesting field 2. Definitely be harvesting field 2. The contracts will all be finished and completed, and yeah, hopefully things will be much more productive. Sorry it's been a quiet day here on the map, but yeah, I misjudged. When I slept through the night and fast forwarded time, I really thought that field would have ticked over. Let me just quickly check the settings to make sure I haven't turned off plant growth. Plant growth is on, but it's on slow. Maybe that has an effect. Maybe that's what's caught me out a little bit. It's because on the multiplayer server at the minute we're on normal plant growth on the multiplayer server, and that thing is growing rapid. Those fields, you can plant a field and harvest it in the same day. It's ridiculous. Several times on the multiplayer server I've gone into the options to make sure we weren't set to fast, because it's just absolutely unreal that on the multiplayer, this is on Felsbrunn, the basic vanilla map in the game, that the growth cycle is so flipping rapid on normal speed. We literally plant a field in the morning and we can harvest it in the evening. I've never known the game be like that. I've never played the game like that. Takes some getting used to, you know. It can catch you out, as it caught one player out the other day, because one player the other day was doing fertilising, and he was fertilising the field, and obviously halfway through fertilising the field it grew, and he ended up causing crop destruction. He had to go and swap the tractor because the field had grown. And the weird thing about it was he had only just planted the field. He'd literally planted the field a few minutes before, gone and got the fertiliser machine, come back and was doing the fertilising. So it's a bit crazy bonkers. And now's a good time to end the video, because obviously I think there's a visitor's just turned up at the house, which means the dogs are barking. So that's a great time for me to end the episode as well. So thank you everybody for watching today's episode of Pine Cove Farm. I will be back in the next video where, as I say, we will be harvesting field 2 and getting our oats in. We'll also be a little bit closer to maybe selling the horses, I think, at that point, which would be very nice. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next video, everybody. So take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you all again very soon.